them towards a rosy future. Reporting from Tucson, I'm Jimmy Roberts for College Game Day.
To keep an eye on this today, what Mala'ulu does a great job of is handing off, that ambidextrous thing. But today he's going to need to throw some, especially if Arizona gets behind, Lee.
Well, the Arizona offense is very conservative, but they're very smart. They don't beat themselves. They've only had 9 turnovers this year, and the defense has only allowed 2 field goals off of those 9 turnovers. Arizona has been winning the old-fashioned way. They earn it on the field with old-fashioned principles. First, net punting. Jason Miller, the Arizona punter, has punted 56 times and has only 16 returned for an average of 3.5 yards per return. Arizona puts a perfect bracket around the punt receiver. This will help contain Napoleon Kaufman from Washington. Pressure defense. Arizona uses an 8-man front and they attack. You've heard of a high-risk run-and-shoot offense? This is the high-risk run-and-hit-off defense. Arizona will knock you all over the place. They've had 68 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. A running attack. A misdirection play against Washington. Watch number 38, Billy Johnson. He uses his Ross Perot technique. He's in, he's out, he's in, and he races for the goal line. You got to understand one thing. They use a ball control offense, but it's perfect for their defense. Craig, you take that pressure defense, you take that net punting, and you take that running attack, they're going to be tough.
All right, you take this, Doctor. There's the deal now. Washington, with Napoleon Kaufman on punt returns, he's a much better punt return team because his men hold him up at the line of scrimmage. The cover team cannot get down there, so they're not going to pin Napoleon Kaufman. Number 2, Arizona runs the ball 75% of the time. Washington's rush defense only allows 115 yards a game. Number 3, Doctor, you've got a team that has Mark Brunell at quarterback right now, and he's not a sitting duck like Bledsoe, or he's not a sitting duck like Torretta. He'll be able to avoid some of that pressure.
I like the Huskies close, just too much balance, Lee. By the way, Ross Perot lost, and you better not waffle on this pick. You've been picking it for 5 weeks.
Okay, I know Washington has beaten this team 108-10, but there's an interesting fact. This is homecoming, and the last time Arizona played Washington on homecoming, they tied. So because of that, I'm picking Arizona, the #1, to beat the #1 team in the nation, Washington, by a big one, a field goal.
You make about as much sense as Perot. All right, even a loss keep the Huskies as the Rose Bowl frontrunner, but USC really is a strong Fiesta Bowl contender. They are at Stanford, where they're unbeaten since Jim Plunkett's Heisman year in '70. Walsh 0-8 versus SC as an assistant and head coach.
He's going to 0-9 in this ball game too, because USC's got that really strong rush defense. They get in there, they sack the quarterback 35 times this year, so Stenstrom will have pressure on him, and it'll be hard for him to get the ball to Glenn Milburn in the flat in the open.
I agree with you. USC's a terrific team, and the secret to their team, wideout Curtis Conway. He's the difference. Now listen, this guy's going to be the next Rocket Ismail or Desmond Howard. He's a definite candidate for the Heisman next year. USC by a field goal.
He's got the nickname. They call him the Comet. Now, Arizona State at Washington State in the other battle today between the Grand Canyon State and the Evergreen State. It's really important for both teams' bowl hopes.
Well, Washington State in this game, they want the bowl. That's really something they started out early on. I believe they're more hungry. They're hungrier for this game. Bledsoe has 5 touchdown passes in his last 2 meetings against Arizona State, and I think he'll continue that march today.
I don't know. I kind of like the Sun Devils in that one.
You did too against USC last week.
All right, good point. The Pac-10 has its own version of the Gipper speech. You know, at Arizona, the motto, "Bear Down," painted in huge letters on the field, was born in the pep talk of a dying player. It predates George Gipp. Now, it wasn't at Notre Dame, so a movie wasn't made about it, but at Arizona, the "Bear Down" motto is a revered tradition. Bear Down Arizona is not just a slogan that led to a fight song. It was a battle cry born from personal tragedy.
We put "Bear Down" in big bold letters across the football field. It's a symbol of the spirit and of Arizona football.
The man behind the symbol was John Button Salmon, Arizona's popular quarterback and student body president in 1926. On October 3rd, Salmon's car slid off the Florence Highway as he returned from visiting relatives in Phoenix. The accident left him partially paralyzed. The Wildcats of Coach J.F. McHale, although shocked and saddened, gained inspiration from Salmon's accident.
Mike came back one day and told us that He had asked Button if he had a message for the team. He said, well, just tell the guys to bear down.
15 days after the accident, Button Salmon died. In their next home game, the heavily favored Wildcats were being upset by New Mexico State when McHale invoked Salmon's bear down as a battle cry. They rallied for a come-from-behind win. The next year, bear down became the school's official motto. Ralph Deal and some teammates decided it belonged in the new gymnasium.
I took it upon myself to see to it that I painted the first letter, which was the B on the west side.
Years later, Deal painted the same motto on the roof of his house. The words Salmon spoke on his deathbed inspired Jack Lee to write the Arizona fight song Bear Down in 1952.
The bear down spirit, I think, for Arizona has been very significant in its football history. It gives the team something. It's a tradition that's time-honored.
It's just two words that have changed everything as far as the University of Arizona is concerned. If you knew Button, it's a bigger message.
Tradition is brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental. For worldwide reservations, call 1-800-4CARS.
For a special music video. What's the